Hi,
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, Mali. Hello, Mariana. Welcome back.
Yeah,
Welcome.
I think you're better than because you're in Florida and you're having the nicest weather ever. But here, I'm freezing. It's not that cold in here, but I'm freezing anyway.
We are sorry. We are so sorry.
Well, that's the virtues of life. Each season has its moments, and each location has its specific energy and space.
Yeah.
So, how are you, Mali, today? Tell us about you. How are you feeling today? And Mariana, apart from the weather, how are you with all this crazy, what was this, full moon and lunar eclipse, which we're facing tomorrow? How are you guys feeling all of that energy?
Do you know something about that? Yeah, because it's gonna happen in a few hours. You know, here in Buenos Aires, I think it's during the morning, the lunar eclipse.
Yes.
And
tomorrow morning.
Yeah, the most important thing now is for us to identify, to observe first, because if we don't observe it, we're not going to be able to identify it. But once we identify what things, what tools they know that no longer serve us, we must leave them in the past. So we have to be observing all the repeating patterns that always bring us to the same place and give us the same solutions. So we need to just stop with that kind of pattern, leave them in the past, and start like constructing a new structure, a new base that is going to be like the new structure we're going to have in our minds, in our hearts, in our lives, that has to be with an open mind, an open heart, and trying to collaborate with others. That's exactly what we're doing now, trying to bring people together that feel alike, that think alike, because, it's time to evolve,
Yeah, and that's what we are going to do, like have these kind of encounters with people that are thinking and feeling this way and have the need to find a new guide, this new paradox, I don't know how to say it, but then I want to introduce ourselves. Do you want to do that? So Mariana in Argentina, Mario in the States, and me in Florida and in Argentina, coming and going. So we start this cycle of interesting talks about how it would be to build a new structure of reality and what tools do we can count with to be able to do that. So well, we have quite a potential here. Like Mario, you were living in many different countries, and you decided to leave your profession and to do something more passionate and do what you felt that it was your following your heart in your activity. And also, Mariana, you left a very important job where you have a very safe structure and decided to start again. And me and Mario, being lawyers, we also decided to to leave that in the past and starting this new way of approaching life and activities, and have this as a way of living that is to help people to for a new consciousness in life.
So the transition.
Mm-hmm.
And if two lawyers made it, anybody can make it.
Yeah. Of course. And then we come with the help of Mariana, that you're a doctor and specialized in psyches, and so we have a good team.
Yeah.
And especially when you started like adding to your experience these regressions you learned with Brian Weiss. Can you tell us a little bit to the people about that?
Mariana, do you want to start or can I start?
No,
Ladies
please,
first,
you
always.
start. I want to hear the whole journey, where it started.
Oh, it started in 1900. No.
Last century.
Yeah. Yes, I was passionate about the law. I enjoyed working as a lawyer, but there was always one element which I was missing when I was working. There was always something that I lacked, and that was that true human contact. So long story short, as always, there's good events in life and there are bad events. And the passing of my mother was what opened my eyes, my third eye, to seeing, understanding, and above all, believing that there is another way to life, there is another way of living, but above all, fulfilling your life's purpose. And that was what triggered me to move forward, step aside from a career, a profession that I enjoyed, that I very much like. It's very intellectually enticing, most probably as well as psychiatry, but nonetheless, it does not fulfill me. And as a result of that, I indulged in learning more about past lives, regressions, hypnosis, even more so about nutrition, breathing, and how that allows each one of us to heal yourself, but above all, to go beyond the present moment which we are living, and understand that there's much more beyond our here and now, and that everybody is to some extent intertwined with everybody else, resulting in a cause and effect in what we do. So this has all allowed me to enjoy what I'm doing on a daily basis, and listening to people when they start talking to you. And that's the other exercise, listening consciously to what other people say, to make them aware of what they are saying and how that makes them realize about their life and how they can change it, improve it, or realize certain patterns, as you well mentioned, Mariana, which we are undergoing right now, to realize, okay, these patterns are not what I want any longer, or I would like to have a change in patterns in my life and improve that. Yes, to move aside from one thing, a structure that you have been educated in or indoctrinated in to become as or your dream job, it's tough. It's a tough decision, but it's a worthwhile decision, because you learn to have patience, you learn to think outside the box, and more importantly, you learn to make new friends, which have always been there and have a big, big, big heart that otherwise you would not have seen in any other profession.
Yeah.
Where were you living, Mario? I know that you have been around the world,
Yes,
in our
yes.
planet, in different places of our planet.
Yes, I can say I'm limited only to the Western sphere of Europe, Northern Europe, Central Europe, North America, and South America. So I don't know the big continent of Africa or Asia. Nonetheless, I have been fortunate enough in both in Europe and here in the US to meet people from all over the world. And this great lesson of interacting, working, and living with people from other countries, you realize in ultimate that we all have the same needs, and it doesn't matter what religion, what beliefs, what philosophical or political orientation you have. We are all the same thing, just a different color, different skin, different hair color, different eye color. It doesn't matter. We all have the same needs: eating, sleeping, breathing, and learning. And
loving. And loving.
Yes, yes, and forgiving.
And forgiving. And thanking. Thanking. Say
yes.
Thanks.
Yes.
Just feeling
Yes.
love and feeling that you're a part of something, that you belong, that's what everybody in the world is just looking for, just love and a sense of belonging. And when you think about it, is we always have it, but we not always see it. So, and I wanted to ask, like, how old were you when your mother passed, and then we sent her a kiss? She's probably listening. And it's so proud of your change also.
This is going to sound ironic. I was the age of Jesus.
33. 33, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool age.
So,
young.
Yes, that's why looking back, like, oh, wow, yeah. It is interesting that similarity, a new life begins at a certain age. My mom always used to say, until 40, you have to still give support to your children, and from then onwards things change. And yes, to a certain extent, things do change. The only thing is, the current generations and the future generations, they need that proper guidance.
Mhm.
And they need to listen to their inner voice in that sense, to actually explore those other opportunities. As we're seeing also, there's so many new professions which are coming up, which ultimately allow people to discover who they are and how they can also be a part of this new society which is being built. And ultimately having a master's degree or PhD, I don't want to disregard the importance or the relevance what they have, but it's losing the common sense to a certain extent in those fields of the knowledge, when, as I say, common sense is the least common of senses that we ultimately keep. And that's why I always like to go back to speaking about people who work on the fields in the countryside, who have no knowledge of or no schooling or no higher education.
But they have wisdom.
Exactly, exactly.
Because they are in contact with nature, with the cycles of life.
Yeah.
Sunrise, sunset, blooming and cropping, and all this universal intelligence that is concentrated in nature.
And
I
they
think
do
that
observing, they observe it all the time and contemplate. Because if they don't do that and they don't know their surroundings and how things work, they wouldn't know how to work with it. And as they're living in it, they might as well like know it. Because if not, one of the two is not gonna evolve, and we all know who.
Yep.
Humans.
yeah,
So
and I think that what is interesting that we can talk about is like what kind of attitude we can have to be able to be online. I mean, to be aligned with this transformation that is so quick for our organism and our mind and our soul to get like to walk at the same time as this evolution. So I think one of those ways is in being in contact with nature, with the sun, to go to green places where to live, and to put kind of observation inside. We lost Mario.
Yeah, he falls occasionally.
Okay, here's
he gets back up though.
Yeah, that's the thing.
very quickly. So I mean, if you agree, I mean, and this kind of observation inside, to check all the time what your intuition is saying, to listen to your body and your intuition, and not so much to your brain, but to use your brain only like to everyday what would be the survival stuff, but then to use it to integrate all these different dimensions of being, like physical body, emotions, to be able to observe emotions and not be swallowed by emotions.
Yeah.
Like because of all this frighten and all this fear because of what is happening, then emotions don't let you be so much aware. And it's I mean, like fear, for example, is tearing you apart from being in connection with the deepest observation of your being, because emotions are very quick to install in your body. So many people are like drinking pills. I noticed that in the United States, like anxiolytics, for not to be able to continue inside a kind of matrix or a kind of routine that they don't like it anymore.
Yeah.
But then how are you aware of the compass inside yourself if you are drinking some pills to put your emotions down, when your emotions would be the compass that would tell you this is not the right way, you're not feeling right doing this, so better do something else.
It's like people should get a hint when they have to medicate themselves to be able to put up with your husband or wife, or to bear with a job, instead of saying, well, maybe I have to change the job, or I have to change my spouse because That's not making me
or
feel
be
good,
alone.
you know?
You don't need to change a spouse. You can be alone as well.
Yeah, well, but if you are in a relationship, we have the idea and the mandate that we have to, work through it, and sometimes that you have to put a lot of effort to make this work in a job, in a relationship. And then when you start learning about well, all the things we have to attain to evolve, one of the things is just observe ourselves. If that's not making me feel good, there has to be a change made. And it doesn't mean that it's like, oh my God, I'm a failure because my relationship didn't work. It's no, we were in a relationship because we both had to learn things from each other. And then maybe we have to, put our observations somewhere else and learn something else. And that part of our lives, ended, and we need to move on. It's not a failure. It's just that the subject ended. It's like we expect to be in high school forever. No, it's a time that when we have to leave high school and go to another place. So that all those ideas they had put to us, that you're quitting, you're a quitter, or you're a failure, or you're not able to do anything that you want, or to make a plan go through, is like, no, because at the moment that I start feeling that something is not attuned with with the reality that I want to have, I'm not aligned, well, maybe some of those changes is gonna mean that I'm gonna have to change my job, to change my spouse, just change my place of residence or wherever. A change has to be made. And no matter what the other voices tell us, or no matter what other people say, because most of the people, when they are speaking to us about how are you gonna do this, how are you gonna do that, it's just a projection of our own fears that we have inside. So that's all the things that we need to be observing and identifying. Because every time we're feeling something, that something is off, that something that you're not feeling quite well, is because you're just being distracted from your purpose in this life, from your path. Yeah, and every time you start feeling, like more, as we say when we speak, that we feel expanded and we feel like $1 million, and everything, it's because you know that you're in the right path, and everything you need is gonna come. You're not like, you're just running out of that mindset that you have to work so hard and put all the effort in
And
something.
power of willpower.
Yeah, in trying to attain something, that then when you get it, it's like, it doesn't feel as I'm supposed to feel, because that was not for me. The society want to make us think that we needed to do this or that, but then you realize that when you have to put so much effort, it's it's like when you need too much effort to do something, you're not just flowing. And if it's not just flowing, it's not for you.